Hey everybody, Scorpion here. So this is going to be a video on the EG4 Mini Split that Signature Solar has and how to install it. So this is the 9000 series, which is all I needed for this trailer build that I've done. And I'm trying to kind of hit the high spots because a lot of this is kind of self-taught and learned as you go. And I mean, I didn't want to do like a 20-hour video on this. The important things is hooking up your power, hooking up your refrigerant lines, hooking up the power in here, and then hooking up the power on the unit outside. So as you can see, it is currently running. The ticking noise, there's a piece of paper in there, I've got to pull that out. But it is running on my solar system too, because I needed to build a solar trailer. So I'm running on 2 Life Power 4 batteries, the EG4 6000 XP, and I now have the EG4 9000 Mini Split installed with the outside unit on the front tongue. So this has been a learning experience for me, so bear with me. If you have questions, feel free to ask, but let's jump into the video. So this is the EG4 9K Mini Split air conditioner heat pump, 9000 BTU. SEER 2 is 29.5, which is pretty amazing. Energy Star certified, plug and cool, do-it-yourself installation. So this is AC and heat both. If you need a line extension, you can order it right here. If you need the wall bracket, you can order it there. Just roll through a couple of pictures here. This is the side of the unit where your wires go in from your top unit and your power. Alright, so I got 2 boxes from Signature Solar. Both come on a pallet, shipped great. As you can see, it's still got the straps on it and all. Took them off, put them in the trailer because rain was coming and stuff. And this is the first day I've had a chance to do anything with it. So we're going to go ahead and open this. This is going to be the head unit that we're supposed to mount up here. Alright, so I'm going to take this and just set it in the floor. And as I take it out, I'll set it up here. So it starts off with your template. So this is the size of your unit. It says that's up. So you can use this so you know what size you need. I pulled the measurements online off, so I'm looking to mount it probably about right here like this. I know it's going to set out on this bar some, but this was the absolute best place to put it in here for air circulation. So you take this template and you can put it up there. You can drill your holes right through your mounting points and everything with this template. Just tape it up there. If you need to drill holes, depending on what you're mounting it to. So here's the template. Drain line. remote. This is going to be the unit. That's the unit itself. So this is the back. Here. Sorry. This is the back. This is your air intake. So you want to leave enough space that you can get good airflow up there. If you can't get good airflow, then it can't do what it's supposed to do. And then you think you didn't get the right size or something's wrong, and it's not. You just didn't leave enough airflow at the top. So my understanding, you need about 4 inches. So when I put the template up for this mountain bracket right here, I'll make sure to know my difference from here to the top, so I'm getting enough air circulation through there. The smaller that hole, the harder it has to pull, and the more it has to work, the more it's going to raise your electric bill, and the less airflow it's going to get to be able to push it out to heat or cool with. So this is all your lines and everything. We'll get to this in a little bit when we start doing the install, but that's how it mounts up there. Also in this box, they sent tape. Sent your power wire. And last but not least is your piece that goes through the wall, some screws and stuff to mount with, instructions and manual. So y'all stick around. We will unbox the other box. Make sure we have everything there that needs to be there, and then we'll start putting it together. Alright, second box. Air conditioner, outdoor unit. Something to remember too, you get this in, you don't know what may or may not have happened in shipping. And also, your installation. You may end up flipping something over or something like that. And so, my suggestion is going to be let this thing sit for 24 hours before you try to turn it on. Because if you flip it over, or it got flipped over in shipping, then you're going to have oil in places it shouldn't be there from the compressor and stuff like that. You'll make the head pressure too high on it and blow a line or burn it up. You may lock the motor up too. So after you get it installed, let it sit for about 24 hours before you go, turning it on. And all right, that kind of thing. Probably should look closer at the box, but whatever. So there's a line set right here that comes with it. This is your lines. Everything's pre-charged. It's got fittings that you put it together with. So be careful with these lines. You don't want to crimp them. So you want to put them somewhere safe. And this is your outside unit that you're just going to mount. Run everything down to and hook everything up. And I've got to set up the tongue of the trailer for this, because I'm going to put this on the tongue in the front. They sent some tape over here as well. It's for your fittings and stuff and helping to seal it. So I've got to decide which way I'm going to do this and mount a plate on the tongue of the trailer, and I'm going to mount this to that, so it'll be just on the other side of the wall from it. So So this is your outside unit piece, and the other side is the inside. All right, so we started off with the template. Stuck it up here, put a screw here and a screw here. Now if you're mounting this in, say, cinder block, brick, and other things, they send you screws for it. It's got the little pieces, so you'll drill the hole through the template, and then when you take the template down, you can put that little plastic piece in, and then the screw goes in it and it expands and it holds. But we're putting it straight into wood, so we don't really need that. So we're just using our own screws. They're actually decking screws, and right now we're just marking where it's got to sit. So we'll take those back out, take the template down, and then we'll set the bracket up there. So the bracket's mounted to the back. It's being held on by one screw. So we're going to pull this screw out and take the bracket off, and then we'll bring y'all back. Alright, so we're going to remove the two screws, put the bracket up there, and then go ahead and mount that bracket where it needs to go. Okay, we'll have to go something different now. And so with that goes in it. Alright, so as you can see, there's a little clip here. We have to unhook and pull the drain line off. And this was in here on this side and the drain line. So we just got to unhook that, move it over here, hook it back, and put this back in the other side. Alright, so we got the plug back in over here. Just kind of like squeeze and like twist is how we had to do it, because you couldn't push it straight in, it's too tight. So it takes a little bit of force to get that thing in there. And as you can see, we got the drain over here to this side. So I believe next was taking these lines, you're going to be careful because you don't want to crimp them. So they're straight and ready to go through. We got a drain line on here. So now we have to work on our electrical. So there is a little plug back here, or a little hole, but I'm going to assume that's where the electric line goes. As you can see, electric line. So there's two ends to this cable. There's the end that's got, you know, the plastic covers on it, and then you've got this end right here that doesn't have covers on it. The end without the covers is the one that goes to the top. Not that it makes that much of a difference, honestly, but that's how they did it in the video. So I'm gonna see if I can't set this unit up where I can get that line through. Alright, so as you can see, the lines are still run down here. I just flipped it over and brought it to the edge of the table. If you don't have a table to do it like this, you may want to put that electric line in first. So you got to pull this plastic up to get this to release, and the blue tape across the front. Little holes right here on both sides. Pull up, and this thing rotates back and gives you access to the panel there. See if I can pull y'all up here so you can see. So it's just a little Phillips screw right here you take out, And now you have access to where all the wires need to hook and go. So top side is already hooked up, as you can see. So we put everything down here on the bottom. So you got 1, 2, 3, and then you have ground right here written across the top. If I can get this out the way. So it's written across the top of the block there. So with that said, we're going to see if we can't run this power cord that they sent with it. Hoping it'll nicely just kind of, can't see, I'm kind of guessing here. There we go. And find the other side and line it up with that hole and put it through it. One of them didn't want to go through. Yeah. There we go. Alright, once you get it started, you slide right on down through there. So when I'm done feeding that through, I'll bring you back. Alright, so I went ahead with a Phillips screwdriver, loosened these 3, and I took the ground screw out because it's got a circle loop there. So according to the schematic here, you have number 1 is brown, so that's number 1, that's going to be the brown wire, and they are numbered here too. Yeah, number 1. It's not a lot of room in here to work. Maybe easier to do it with needle nose pliers. Just make sure it's seated up there good. Just hoping you can see. It would be easier to take the cover all the way off, which I think can be done real easily, but I gotta do everything the hard way. So once you get it snug, you can tighten it on down good. And then go to the next one. Next one says number 2. Should be the same sleeve here. It says 3. The schematic and the directions say it's blue, and that's got a number 2 on there. So you can go down underneath everything, slide it up on there. Snug it down, and just to make sure, this has got a 3 on it, and that's number 3, and the schematic in the book says black. Take that one and get it down underneath everything. Snug it down. from ground, I'll just take everything, hold it on like that, run it through that. Helps if your fingers work like they're supposed to. Put it back, and that's good. You always want to tug on all of them just to make sure you didn't mess up somewhere. It shouldn't move, it should be good and tight, and that's it. Alright, so there is a wire clamp in the bottom of the box. This isn't really necessary to do anything with, so I'm going to run that over there next to it. Bring the wire down and put it in that wire clamp there, and that keeps the pressure off of your screws and stuff. Slides in on this side. Like I said, it's not a lot of room in there. So it's kind of hard to show y'all. Alright, it's seated. You want to snug this down just a little bit. Nothing crazy, and that's got that taken care of. Alright, so once we know that wire is secure, we'll take, close that back, pull the plastic off so it's not brand new anymore, and it's time to hang it. You ready? So we're going to run this line through first, which we ain't given that silicone enough time to set up yet, but it'll finish setting up after we get the unit up. So we gotta get all this through this hole here. I have to come on up with it. Slowly feed it down. So this would be like the hole at your house if you're going through the wall. This one of the lines, hang on. There we go. Alright, then you just have to mount it on that bracket. I can't even get high enough to see. Let's see here. This might hold me. There we go. Sit on both. Alright, so the unit just hangs on the bracket on the top. And then you, yeah, it's got to lean out a little bit. So the clips, yep, that one's ready. That one is ready, so just push in on the bottom. And it's locked on there. So it's up there, it's ready. So now you got to connect lines and get it outside. So normally, if you're doing a house or most things, you're going to run those lines right straight through to the outside. Being I'm putting this in a mobile trailer, I'm bringing the lines down on the inside here, and I'm going to take them out at the bottom. That way the whole line set, that's less, I guess, exposure to the sun, the heat, birds, branches, debris going down the road, stuff like that. So I'll put all that stuff in down here, run it out down here in the bottom, which I'll show you, and connect everything outside. You got it? Yeah. Just remember when it gets close to put the thread lock on. Alright, so this is how I chose to mount it. I'm not going to say it's perfect or the right way, but as you can see, put a steel plate underneath, bored through it, 3 self tappers with Loctite on both sides. Then I put the bolts through with Loctite, and it's got the nuts with the yeah, whatever, so they're not supposed to back off anyway. But yeah, so that part is set up and ready. So the next thing is just running everything through here over to here and connecting everything on the inside. Alright, so we have 2 different size pipes. You've got the thicker pipe and the thinner pipe. This is probably the easiest way to straighten it out. You can see I got them running through the hole. If we go outside here, they're out here. I gotta take this cover off here, but basically you just run them right over here to your plugs and hook them up. Alright, so first line is just hand tight. We're going to tighten that down now, and both lines are different sizes, including the couplings and all, so you can't accidentally put the wrong one on the wrong side. So there's nothing to worry about when it comes to that. So you just slide it on, screw it down with your fingers, that way you know the threading's right and it gets in there good, and then you just snug it down. Alright, so they send you these little pins that go through those, and that helps lock it into place and keep it from turning and slowly backing off and releasing all your refrigerant. So lines are done on the unit outside.
That one was a little rough to get started. Tighten down and put the pin up. You put the pin in the right way, it'll go.
Alright, so because I didn't think I was putting a mini split in here at first, I'm having to work with what I got. So the small one's curled up behind the counter here. Pretty much out of the way. I'll tie strap it up. Big line's curled up on the side of the cabinet over here. I'll secure it to the cabinet. So I've got the drain running through, I've got a blue pipe running through, and then I have your return and your line that sends running through. So there's two electrical wires that have to go through that hole. One comes from up here, and this is it right here. And the other one comes from the panel box down. So that's what the blue pipe's for. So I'm gonna run them through that blue pipe outside to the unit outside, connected to the unit outside. That way the sun's not beating on them, and I can kind of securely fasten everything together and make sure everything's taken care of that way. Alright, so this is right now we're just unscrewing the lugs so they're ready. We'll have to pause here in a second to get the rest, but hopefully you can see this is kind of a tight area here, but you've got 1, 2, 3, then you have a L for load and an N for neutral, and then you have your 2 grounds. And if y'all remember when we were doing the wiring to the inside unit, they were also numbered 1, 2, 3. So they just match up the same way. You bring them down here, put the numbers that are on the wires into it, screw them underneath the screws, get them good and snug, and keep going. When you get over here to your L and your N, that's going to be coming from your panel. And being that he's not working, I can probably move you over now. So that's going to be from your panel, where your power comes in. So you got your load, which is going to be your black, your neutral, which is normally hot, and again, it all depends. I'm putting this in a car hauler, so it could be any color I wanted it to. Technically, some people might get upset about that, but you know. And then you have ground. So there's a ground spot right here, but there's no screw in it. It may have fell out in shipping, somebody forgot to put it in, whatever. And then there's another ground screw over here. So I'm just going to tie the 2 grounds together and put an end on there, and put the little flat circle end on there, and put them both under the same ground screw. Shouldn't make any difference because I don't have extra screws sitting around to really separate them out. But this is the wire coming from my panel. So green's ground, white's neutral, black's hot or load, whatever you want to call it. And then this is what comes from the other panel on this end. And right here's little sleeves. See, that's the number 3. This one right here is going to be number 1. So that one's going to be number 2, and this is going to be the ground. So let's see if we can hook these up. Alright, so as y'all can see, they correspond like they're supposed to. So we just got the ground left. So we went ahead and got a terminal end and crimped it on our ground from the breaker box. And we're just going to run the screw through both of them and put it back in. There is straps built in, basically wire straps in the bottom, hold the wire, help keep you from, you know, stuff pulling on that wire and trying to pull up on the connections at the bottom. They're pretty simple. You just take a screw out and it opens right up, and then you screw it back down on there. So this is a little tricky, especially when you got something in your way. But again, I'm gonna remind y'all, I'm putting this on a enclosed trailer. This is not a house install or a building, so you got to work with what you got and make it up as you go sometimes. Definitely want to make sure everything's safe, everything's properly grounded, but not everything has to be done a certain way. So there's the inside and that ground terminal. There's those two straps at the bottom. They're coming down. Runs out this. We used a piece of pipe, so I don't want them out here in the sun. This is your two refrigeration lines. And that's the drain. I'll probably run down to the bottom and clip it off down there and secure it. But yeah, so this is the line that come from the inside unit, and this is the lines that come from the breaker box. All right, so this has just got 5 screws, puts it back on. As you can see, we got the pipe ran and it's going into the front wall there. I'll put it underneath because I didn't want these lines vibrating on stuff. So I'm gonna shift this stuff a little bit and try to make everything kind of center, and I'll put something in the middle to hold it there, and then I'm gonna silicone the inside and outside both and make sure it's good and secure. I'm gonna take and put some insulation on this, some pipe insulation on these. This piece right here has got 1 screw at the top, this cover. You normally just lean it out and the bottom pops open, but due to the fact that I have something in the way, it doesn't work quite as easy. So I have to finagle it back in there and get it put back in place where it goes. So that's basically back. So I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown on that. So this has got a seal in it, so it should be okay and it shouldn't need anything. And this is just plastic. It's not really anything behind that if it gets wet or anything that it's going to hurt. So I'll take y'all back inside and show you how to hook the wires up. So this is getting the power to it in the panel box. Hook the white into the bar there with the other white. You hook it black into the 20 amp breaker, and then the neutral goes to the neutral bar, and then you're ready to go. It's that simple. So we're going to test it out here in just a minute. Okay. So last thing to do is let the gas out after you're sure that everything is hooked up.
Everything?
Are we sure? We're never sure about anything, so let's see what happens.
All we got left is cut the drain.
Famous last words. Alright, so we're taking the caps off. You have to back the valve out all the way, and you should hear the gas.
Charged.
Did y'all hear that? So you back it all the way out till it stops. And then you have to do the other line the same way. And then we will be ready to test it. Alright, so we are running on solar. Can't see it too good with this bright light. Just battery power, because there's no light outside. I'm sure y'all can hear the fans running. And here's the mini split. So it just cut on. They do give you remotes. They do glow in the buttons glow in the dark at night. And there it is, it's firing up. I think I got a little piece of paper in the fan inside. Got a little tick. But that's pretty much it. It works, it runs. Installation takes a little while, but it's super easy. I would definitely recommend one. So we're outside. As you can hear, that thing's super quiet too. It's all lines. Nice and quiet.